a suspect. This isn't Hollow Knight. You're not playing that one for a while. Soakson. In the parlor, which had fallen silent again, the only sound was that of the TV that Maria was watching alone. If there was anything audible besides that, it was the sound of the rain, which had continued on and on since the previous night. Every one of those who have witnessed the unearthly and horrible scene stayed silent, as though praying that the events of that morning had all been a dream. Because Kumasawa alone hadn't seen it, her reaction was slightly different. The silence itself seemed more unbearable to her, and she was anxious to encourage everyone somehow. However, she was aware that she must avoid saying anything careless, and she seemed to be pondering how she could be most helpful. Normally, it would be time for breakfast. However, possibly because something so outrageous had happened, Goda seemed to have forgotten to prepare a meal. Or maybe everyone was so beaten up that they'd forgotten their hunger. Kumasawa wanted to bring up the subject of what they should do for breakfast, but it didn't seem like the right atmosphere, so she really couldn't. But she really was hungry, so she casually made a proposal.
It seems everyone is tired after all that has happened. In times like these, I think the best thing is to heat yourself with some warm black tea.
Indeed, that is an excellent plan. I agree as well.
Oh. How about some delicious black tea with biscuits and jam? Ah, yes, I hear Halloween.
Bad choice of words.
I hear Halloween will be here soon, and we have some delicious-looking pumpkin-shaped cookies on the shelf.
Kumasawa-san, that's...
Nanjo on screen. Gotta sit up and listen to his life-changing lines. Not a knower. Of course she had said the wrong thing. She had reminded Butler and the rest about the horrible and tragic Halloween party in the chapel. Nanjo hurriedly whispered into Kumasawa's ear.
Butler-san, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to accept you. Truly, I didn't.
No, don't worry about it. I'll definitely turn this boiling anger back on the culprit. I wonder if that culprit is still on this island. Probably. At least until the typhoon passes, no boat will come.
Yes, that is true. After all, the boats stop coming even when it's just a little windy. They certainly wouldn't come during a typhoon, yes.
It creeps me out. You think so, Nikki? Me too. And that's even putting aside whether the culprit's that mystery guest or not.
Indeed. We're naturally suspected the mysterious guest who calls herself Beatrice. But we still cannot be certain she is the culprit. There is still the possibility she's a victim whose corpse still hasn't been found.
When I think it that way, there's something I just can't understand.
What do you mean by that?
It's simple. It's just like Kumasawa-bachan said a short while ago. Right now, this island is right in the middle of a typhoon and escape is impossible. The same thing goes for the culprit. In that case, having the crime come to light should have been the thing the culprit wanted to avoid most.
I see. So there was no need to draw that creepy magic circle on the entrance to the chapel and show off the fact that corpses were there.
Yeah, that's it. And if they were able to take the time and effort to do something so horrible to those 6 people, it should have been possible for them to hide the 6 corpses where they would be impossible to find. I agree. That brutal Halloween party probably wasn't directed at those who died. It was directed at the people who would naturally discover it. Us. It's probably safe to say that the magic circle was there to help us find it. The culprit knows they won't be able to escape from this island for a while. And yet, they acted as though they wanted to make us find the corpses in the middle of this typhoon. What does it mean? If I were the culprit, I definitely wouldn't play around and make us find bodies.
Beatrice-sama was not in her room.
and the room did not seem particularly disturbed. Ah, no. Milady did disturb it quite a lot, though.
Wait. No. They died in Jessica's room, not Beatrice's room. Hi, Fraktu. No silk song, I'm afraid. Not for a long time. Go the on-screen lock-in streamer. Okay, I don't agree with that one. Come to think of it, what happened to Jessica?
Kanon-san is looking after her. They are probably in Milady's room.
That isn't good. The culprit is definitely still on the island. In this situation, I don't believe it's a very good idea to isolate ourselves in small numbers.
Well, what do you mean by that? You don't mean to say that the culprit plans to kill all of us? Ah!
Let us remain calm. That is not yet certain.
But unfortunately, we can't deny the possibility exists. The letter wasn't the culprit. In the chapel. According to this, the culprit is a witch. And if we don't solve the riddle of grandfather's epitaph and find the gold, they'll massacre the whole family, or something like that.
Is that true? Would you allow me to read it as well?
As they read the witch's letter, Goda, Kumasawa, and Manjo's faces grew even paler than they had been. Kumasawa could no longer hide her shaking. If you don't want to die, try finding grandfather's hidden gold. Is that it? Screwing around with us? I'll bet she can't solve the riddle, so she's trying to make us solve it.
However, I wonder what the truth is. Madame always stated that the legend of the gold was nothing more than an illusion created by the master. It is doubtful whether it actually existed. True. Supposedly, they thought it would be nice if it did exist, but only half believed it. The relatives started believing in the legend of the gold only after Kinso's health worsened and the inheritance problem came up. Until then, hardly anyone believed in it, I understand.
Oh, so maybe that's why. Do you remember? On the table in the chapel, there were 3 gold ingots. That alone would be worth quite a lot. Doesn't that prove that the legend of the gold was real?
Excuse me, please wait. Just now, did you say there were 3 gold bars?
Yeah, there was definitely 3 of them piled up. So what?
I happened to hear Kraus-sama say something once. Yes, I just happened to hear it, you see. It's not like I was trying to listen in on secret discussions, no indeed.
Don't worry about that now. So, then what? Is there something wrong with that there being 3 gold ingots?
Yes. According to Kraus-sama, there was only 1 bar ever found to support the legend of the gold.
That is correct. I believe Kinso-san showed the president of Marusu a mountain of gold and let him take 1 bar back with him, or so the story goes.
The 1 bar came to be in Kraus-sama's possession, and he said that no other gold supporting the master's legend of the gold existed.
You're talking about Uncle Kraus here. So what does that mean? No, wait. 3? Wait. Where did they come from? That's too many, right?
Perhaps there is another explanation. Maybe the other relatives also found 1 each, and they each brought 1 of them here. No, I cannot believe that. When all of the relatives came to the mansion, I was entrusted with their luggage. I did not feel a suspicious weight upon them.
I think those would weigh about 10 kilograms. If that much weight was in the bags, even I would notice. But it didn't seem that way. Same here. At the most, there were some changes of clothes, like the first aid kit, Kairi-san's makeup, stuff like that, I think. Aunt Rosa's luggage also looked pretty light. In that case, those 3 piled up gold bars were being shown to them, or maybe to us. The legend of the gold is definitely real. It isn't an illusion. They're telling us to try and find out the secret if we can.
Could they be scheming to have us solve the epitaph which points to where the gold is hidden, and then try to snatch it away?
But they clearly know where the gold is already, so no. Yeah, that does make some sense. But there are a couple parts that don't fit. To start, Our parents, who should have been the most likely to solve the epitaph, were killed first. That seems to create a contradiction right off the bat to me. And something else makes even less sense. If the legend of the gold is actually true, then how were they able to pile up all that gold? It's almost like the culprits already found the gold, and is telling us to try and find it too. Maybe the culprit found those 3 like Uncle Kraus did. Maybe that convinced them the legend is true, and they're trying to make us search for the rest. I think that way fits best. The pieces on the chessboard aren't lined up at all. We don't have a clue what the culprit is planning and what they want or what they want to make us do. Is there any point? No matter what we think, is there anything we can't figure out right now?
It was written down. What she wanted to make us do. Couldn't anyone read it?
Maria suddenly laughed in a creepy voice. I thought she'd been concentrated on the TV, but apparently she'd been listening in too. Without turning away from the TV, she very simply told us what we were forgetting.
Beatrice hadn't said once that she wants the gold. All she's asking is whether you're all capable of solving the epitaph's riddle or not. Though I bet she's pretty sure you could never do it.
So, are you saying you can solve it, Maria?
I don't care. After all, she'll take me to the Golden Land, so I won't get in Beatrice's way. Ow!
In any case, looks like we'll have to ask Maria if we want to learn anything more. Maria, tell us, who is this Beatrice? What is she planning?
You know, Beatrice is a witch. She can do anything with her strange powers. The power of magic can do anything. It can even create gold or bread. And of course it can create sweets too, right? You saw it, didn't you?
At that time, everyone jumped at the sound of a door being slammed shut. When we turned around, we saw that Rosa had suddenly returned, bringing Genji and Shannon. 1 second. Then she rapidly approached Maria, her heels squeaking, and hit her on the cheek. Oh, come on! Stop talking about that. Butler-kun and the rest will take it badly. Without waiting for a response, she hit Maria's cheek once more. Everyone could only stand there, stunned. I don't know what means. What about yes? She mercilessly hit Maria's cheek again. Maybe Maria didn't feel like resisting after being hit twice. She weakly said yes.
Rosa-san, there's no reason to be so harsh.
This is my daughter's education. Do not interrupt. The atmosphere around Rosa, with Genji and Shannon standing at attention behind her, was somehow cold and yet dignified. Completely different from how she seemed before she left. She was holding something that looked like a gun. I couldn't imagine that she'd be holding a toy in this situation. Whatever. Rosa, what is... This is father's. Because of the current situation, I borrowed it specifically. Everyone should understand. The culprit is still nearby. We don't know what might happen. I agree. Rather than trying to figure out what the culprit is planning, it might be better to first think about our own safety. Father was fine, but he was considerably shaken by these sudden events. I don't know. Fortunately, he said that he won't leave his room, so he should be safe. For now, we should all try to stick together as much as possible. I agree. We don't even know where the culprit's hiding, and after all, there's no proof there's only one of them. Even though I'd said it myself, I shivered. That's right. Could a single person kill 6 people and set up such a horrible scene all alone? Isn't it natural to assume that this crime was carried out by multiple culprits? I don't know. Rosa. I don't know.
I agree with Rosa-san. It probably is good for us to stay together.
Yes, I think it's good too, yes.
Maybe it's about time we called for Milady and Kanon-san.
That's right. Let's have them come down. I'm so excited. I hope Beatrice and present day Butler have another standoff. I have some defenses ready. I'm not as prepared as I was with the locked room, but I'm prepared. Okay, I'm gonna say it now. So obviously, what I think the answer is that someone killed them with stakes. No magic happened. It's just that someone killed them with those stakes, right? Easy peasy. The problem, here's my predictions of what Beatrice is going to say in red. She's going to say, I didn't kill them with the stakes. Right? She's trying to say that Asmodeus and Satan killed them, right? So she's gonna say, I never touched the stakes. And she's gonna say that in red. Then she's going to say, No, wait. Okay, so that's one prediction. Write this down, okay? Write this down. So I think a prediction is that she's going to say, I didn't touch the stakes at all this whole time. My hands never touched the stakes. Now, another thought process is, let me think how to word this. Butler's going to say that Satan and Asmodeus don't exist, that they are fake, that they were a trick. Maybe? I don't know. I don't think he would say that, but let's say that he does say that. Beatrice is going to say in red that Satan and Asmodeus are real. She's going to say in red that they are real. But what she won't be able to say in red, she will not be able to say that Satan and Asmodeus turned into the stakes. She won't be able to say that. She'll say that Satan and Asmodeus are the stakes in red. She's going to say that, but that's a trick. She's playing with your mind. The trick is that the stakes are also called Satan and Asmodeus. But it doesn't mean that the stakes being called Satan and Asmodeus are the same object as the people Satan and Asmodeus. That's how they get you. But here's where I come in. My thought process is like I said last time. I think that Satan and Asmodeus are real. They're real people, but that they're one of the other people from the orphanage. That there are other servants. There are other servants that have quote-unquote graduated. And that they use the stakes to kill Jessica and Kanan. So the truth is that Satan and Asmodeus came out from wherever they were hiding. They are real people. They are not magical creatures. They are just other servants from the orphanage. And that they use the stakes, which are also called Satan and Asmodeus, to kill Jessica and Kanan. And Beatrice is going to use that in her red text to confuse us. But I'm prepared already. I'm prepared. Just you wait. Alright, now we continue. I said on Discord that I had my defenses ready. Those are my defenses right there. I already planned it all out. And I can't wait for immediately for none of what I said is going to happen. Let us continue. My nose is stuffed right now. I'm not sick. I just slept like 4 hours. So my body is failing me. Judge Shaniki tried to grab the extension phone, but Goda-san shook his head. That's right, the phones are down right now, aren't they? Yeah, I'll go with a couple people. If Judge Shaniki and Goda-san come too, that should be enough. No. Let's all go together. It's a wolves and sheep's puzzle. If we're in balance while gathered together like this, then maintaining the situation will be safest. A wolves and sheep puzzle.
I've got it. I'll show you.
Maria, turn off the television. Genji-san, please tell me where Jessica-chan's room is. Let's all go together.
Yes, I will guide you.
Come on, everyone. We'll move together. Follow my instructions. You're nothing. You will never be her. We stood up. Maria looked like she had some regrets about the TV, but she decided to go along with everyone for now and got up. Shut on. Thank goodness. I was a bit worried when you took so long to get back.
I'm sorry to have worried you. The master ordered me to transcribe something for him.
Transcribe? Shut on.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
The will, right? Yeah. We headed for Jessica's room with the arm on Rosa and Genji-sama in the lead. Wait, are Seizun and Asmodeus in characters? No, not yet. Jessica and Kanun-kun were a boy. Jessica and Kanun-kun were a boy and a girl of about the same age. It would sure be a shame if we barged in on them at a bad time, or at least that's what we'd be joking about normally. However, Aunt Rosa was on edge, constantly exuding a sense of tension, so it definitely wasn't the sort of atmosphere for careless remarks like that. Hey, don't fall behind! Everyone, move together! We don't know when or where the culprit might leap out at us, alright? No, maybe Aunt Rosa's attitude was more appropriate. Since grandfather hadn't come down, Aunt Rosa was her leader. This wasn't a situation where she could smile like she always did, and Aunt Rosa was a mother too. She probably also thought that if she didn't get a hold of herself, some harm might befall her beloved daughter. I kinda like this a lot. It's interesting, it's very, very interesting. Natsuhi instantly fell into the leader role, but it came natural to her. She was always destined for a leader role. It was something that she really always did from the shadows. It's just that she was never acknowledged for it. Like, nothing about her really changed. All that changed is that she was being seen now. With Rosa, I feel like it's more of an ego thing. Like, I would like to say that she's, as horrible as it sounds, she's glad that she's the only one left now. Because now, she can finally be the important one. It's less so that the leader role is falling naturally to her like it did with Natsuhi. It is that she is forcing herself into the leader role because she really wants to feel like this. I like that a lot, if I'm right. The corporate had killed 6 of her parents at once. The method they had used was unknown, but there was a good chance this opponent could take down a large number of people in a flash. Would that be with weapons or with numbers? Or with the magic of a witch? In any case, I couldn't think of any reason why I'd be okay to let our guards down. The rest of us had better take much greater care, just like Aunt Rosa. I gotta blow my nose real quick. We're back. Everyone, stop! Aunt Rosa spoke in a sharp voice. Wondering what this was all about, we peered forwards and immediately realized the reason. Uh-oh. Oh, these are allergies.
What is this?
Everyone, get back!
All of a sudden, Genji-san approached the door. Beyond this door was probably Jessica's room.
This seems to be the same paint that was scribbled on the door to the chapel.
Oh, this stream is going to suck. Not right now, when we're about to get to the part I'm most excited about. I'm gonna sneeze again. VRV. We're so back. I just was completely annihilated by sneezing. Sams and Beatrice put a curse on me, clearly. Sams put a curse on me because whatever he had to go do. And Beatrice because I got too close to the truth. I already solved everything before we even got to the mystery section of Jessica and Kanon's death. But now we're back.
It appears so. It seems not much time has passed since it was drawn.
What the heck? Is this another magic circle?
It's the first magic circle of the moon. It has the power to open non-opening doors.
Drawn on the door to Jessica's room was the same kind of creepy scribble that had been drawn on the door to the chapel. The strange pattern must have had some occult meaning, but it didn't matter what that meaning was. We were worried about whether those two were okay. Clearly not, I mean, come on.
That doesn't matter. Are Jessica-chan and Kanon safe?
This does not bode well. We should quickly bring those two downstairs.
Milady! Milady! Are you there? Please answer!
Goda-san knocked violently and yelled, but there was no answer. He gripped the doorknob with a clatter, but the lock just resisted him. Another locked room?
Rosa-sama, it seems to be locked.
There is no helping it. Please open it up! Genji nodded and Goda quickly unlocked the door with the master key. I would rather be sick, Sems. In the back of my mind, horrible image floated up and disappeared one after another. A magic circle had been drawn on the door to the chapel. Behind that lay 6 corpses. So if there's a magic circle drawn on the door to Jessica's room, then beyond that, it must be...
Jessica-sama!
What happened? Is she here? Jessica! What happened? It was truly heartless. The expression on Goda-san's face and his cry as he opened the door prepared us for the brutal fate that Jessica had met even before we saw her. Everyone rushed to Jessica's room at once. That scene told everyone that their worst fears were spot on.
Oh!
Whoa! It's just when I was asking for more CGs, right? That's pretty. Amazing comeback streamer. Jessica and Natsuki. This episode, the only thing saving this episode is that now Beatrice and Butler are actually fighting in the tier room. Without that, I would be so bored and angry. I do not care about Rosa. Goda is still alive, of all people. Nah. Like Emma, she's the most fun, and she's got like nah. Hello, Phoenix. Jessica! Oh, whatever. Dr. Nanjo. Inside the room, which seemed elegant for the bedroom of one so young, Jessica lay crumbled on the ground. There was a large pool of blood on the floor, and there was a knife or something sticking deep into her back. Was it a knife? There was a design on the handle that just had to symbolize something demonic. It had to be a weapon with some kind of occult meaning.
That is horrible. She has passed away. This probably reached her lungs. Not much time has passed since she died.
Jessica! Damn it!
Butler-sama!
I was naive. I knew it! Since the culprit couldn't escape the island, they were definitely close by. So why didn't I get cautious sooner? I was naive. I just assumed that a culprit would commit their crime and then just sneak away and hide. We were stunned then. We thought Jessica-chan given in to rage and running off was just something that couldn't be helped. But we were naive. We should have stopped her. Goda-san, why did you leave those two alone? If only you had been with them, something like this.
That is, I said it was dangerous, so we should return. It's just that Milady said that she wanted to be alone. Kanon-san told me to leave it to him, and... Speaking of which, where is Kanon-san?
That's right. What in the world happened to Kanun-kun?
Kanon-kun, where? Kanon-san should have been with Milady. Where in the world did he go?
You don't think they got him? I actually didn't prepare for that. I didn't prepare how to explain Kanon going missing in the real world. Okay, I'll make my defense after I check the tab. Ushirabiya Jessica found in her own room in the mansion with a weapon shaped like a snake having been rammed into her back. At the very end, she got to be with the person she loved. She must have been happy. Kanon, missing. The witch embraces corpse for fun, let alone threw them into chaos. If the human world is what is, then what is not is undoubtedly fantasy. Fantasy depicts what they themselves fear. It kind of feeds into what I'm thinking. So the defense I was preparing already is that I'm thinking, like again, like in episode 1, I'm thinking that the servants are responsible for the murders. Not directly, it's just that they were being ordered around, either by Beatrice or by Kinso. So it is very, very super duper easy to say that Kanon... I still think that Asmodeus and Satan are the ones that actually killed them. But Kanon was an accomplice somehow, so he followed Satan and Asmodeus into whatever hidden chamber they're in. And that's why he's not here. That's what I'm thinking. It's a weak defense. But it's something. I'm gonna blow my nose again. We're back. Quiet. Someone might be hiding in this room. Search under the bed and in the closet. There was a chance that Kanon-kun's corpse had been pushed away somewhere. At Rosa-san's order, everyone searched throughout the room together, but there wasn't a single human hiding anywhere. He's nowhere. Could the culprit have taken him out of the room? Then we have to search for him quickly and save him. If we're slow, something awful might happen. On Rosa, let's search all over the mansion. Let's search for the culprit. Let's save Kanon-kun. That's another thing. If Kanon is an accomplice, then leaving the room and locking it behind him would be a very easy feat. Quiet! When Aunt Rosa yelled at us, we fell instantly silent. She was probably contemplating something. However, what in the world could that be? Aunt Rosa walked around the room as though looking for something, or as though she was collecting her thoughts. Then she found something on the side table by the bed and picked it up. If anyone knows, tell me. Which key is this? Ah, brother! Aunt Rosa showed everyone a key with a cute mascot attached to it. Judging by its cute appearance, I didn't doubt that it was Jessica's key, but I had no way of knowing for sure.
It is probably the key to this room, to Milady's room.
After hearing that, Aunt Rosa made a point of going outside the door and checking. Without a doubt, it was the key to this room. I wonder why it was set in a place like this. Wouldn't you normally keep such an important key in your pocket?
Oh, Melanie wasn't in the habit of locking her room. It seems she would only do it when she went to school. Because she didn't want someone like Kraus-sama to look inside her room.
I see. She wasn't at school, so it's natural that Jessica-chan would set the key down here. How many keys can open this door? If you say only one. No, because we know the master key. But Genji has the master key, so he's gonna say only two. And that's gonna make me real mad.
Just the one Melanie had.
Can it be opened with your master keys?
They can open it.
Okay, please. How many master keys are there? Are all of the servants holding them? Are there extras? Yes! We all have one! Okay, phew. We're still safe. So, super easy peasy lemon squeezy to say that Kanon could have locked the door again. Actually, if anything, I think that's what Rosa is trying to allude to right now. She's about to say that Kanon was the culprit. Which I don't think so. I just think that he is forced to be an accomplice. As for extras, I wonder.
There used to be several, but Madame scolded us harshly, saying that it was careless, so they should have been dealt with.
That is correct. There is only one held by each servant. There are no more.
Yes! Huh? Wait a sec. I think we talked about extra master keys in the last game, right?
Indeed.
Well, regarding that, I have noticed that having several master keys whose locations are unknown is quite disadvantageous to me. That's probably right. Since you want to make me believe in magic using closed rooms, it really hurt you if there was more master keys than we thought. After all, every time a trick involving a lock shows up, I plan to resist by arguing that the culprit has a master key that someone lost in the past or a duplicate. Yes, that's correct. So I decided to make a move to defeat that. I'll update our setting. The only master keys are the ones held by the servants, one key each. Very good. I was already ready to believe that anyways. Messing with me. More importantly, what kind of move is this? What's Rosa talking about? Who knows? You should try listening in. Thank you. I have the situation sorted out. We must find and kill Kanon-kun! And I've been able to pinpoint the culprit who assaulted Jessica-chan, or at least one of their accomplices. What did you say? Who is it? Aunt Rosa, you don't mean Kanon-kun, do you?
Huh? What? Why Kanon-kun?
This room was locked, and the only keys that can unlock it are the master keys held by each servant and the key Jessica had. But Jessica-chan's key was closed up in here, which means it's only possible that one of the master keys locked this room up.
It is as you say.
I don't get it though. 1 second, I'm gonna blow my nose while I think. What I don't get is that this is very human. Like, this is such an ease. Like, Beatrice gains nothing from this. If anything, she's losing. Because there was no magic involved. It was. If it was Kanon-kun, then that's it. No magic. So, two things are gonna happen. Either Butler is going to fight for Kanon-kun's innocence, which means that he's going to have to find another way that this murder could have happened by human hands, but not by Kanon's hand. Or Battler's going to say the same thing as me, saying, okay, I don't want to believe it, I couldn't did it, but this is clearly done by human hands. Rosa said it herself, right? And Beatrice is going to retort with, Kanon-kun did not kill Jessica in red. And that's when the real game starts. One of those things are gonna happen. Very interesting. One second, I gotta drink water. In that case, someone killed Jessica and then locked the door. That person had the master key, and there are only 5 people with master keys.
Oh my.
So I think like super easy. Okay, so either Kanon-kun. Okay, I don't think Kanon is an accomplice anymore. He was either kidnapped and is still alive, or his dead body was just dragged out into the secret chamber. Either way, what matters is that Satan and Asmodeus, who are real, took Kanon's key. And that's how they locked the room.
Oh my. It wasn't me. Not me. No, I could never do such a thing.
Kumasawa got up late. After we returned from the chapel to the parlor, we did meet you there. But it's impossible to prove where you were and what you were doing until that time. You watched us from the shadows, chased after Jessica-chan and Kanon-kun when they were isolated, and suddenly and instantly attacked them.
Are you saying that I visited my lady's room? And did something so horrible? I did no such thing! Gracious, no such thing!
What about you, Goda-san? You said you left Jessica-chan and Kanon-kun's care and returned. But I wonder if that's true. Maybe you actually killed the 2 of them, hid Kanon-kun's corpse, and then came back with an innocent look on your face.
Nothing of the sort happened. I, Goda, swear that I did not do anything like that. It wasn't us. We were following the master's orders and...
Yes, you and Genji-san alone are clean. That's backed up by what I heard from Father. The 2 of you were in Father's room the whole time, transcribing and witnessing for him. Father and I can guarantee that.
Thank you very much.
In that case, the argument becomes who is more suspicious, Goda-san or Kumasawa-san. Why are you suspecting Kanon-kun? I thought to myself right after entering the room. But still, I found it strange. Look in the state of Jessica-chan's body. Doesn't everyone think it's strange?
Strange, you say?
Jessica-chan was struck in the back. Come on, they say it all the time, right? That in crimes when the victim is struck in the back, that's a high likelihood that the culprit was someone whose face was known to the victim. She definitely wouldn't invite the person she didn't trust into her room and defensively expose her back.
Rosa-sama, you don't mean to say that Kanon-kun, do you?
I do. Okay, there we go. We're all fully aware of the state Jessica-chan was in right before she was killed. After seeing her parents' tragic bodies, Jessica-chan was deeply panicked. It's easy to imagine that she was that after she regained her composure, she'd be in a horrible slump. It would be very understandable if Jessica's frame of mind led her to shut herself up alone in this room. And those particulars match with Koda-san's story. Jessica-chan said to leave her alone. And then Kanon-kun, who is a similar age and who may have some adolescent relationship with her set to leave this matter in his hands. That feeling is also very understandable. So, for that reason, I think Jessica-chan welcomed Kanun-kun into her room. But what if it had been Goda-san or Kumasawa-san? Would she have let them into her room?
I believe that I have gained my lady's trust, but even so...
Oh, then I guess you're still a suspect after all, Goda-san. I assume Jessica-chan probably didn't like you very much, so I don't think she would have let you into her room. I was convinced that you couldn't possibly be the culprit, but maybe I was mistaken.
No, I am sad to say that I may have never been accepted by my lady. What about you, Kumasawa-san? We are far too separated by age to understand the feelings of a young person like my lady very well, and for the same reason, perhaps my lady never opened up her heart to us. Right, Koda-san?
Yes, that's right. It would have been quite difficult for her to open her heart to the likes of us, and it would be inconceivable for my lady to let us into her room when she was grieving.
What a... Very gross on everyone. Very gross on everyone's part right now. These two were just so easily throwing Kanun-kun under the bus. And very gross on Rosa for basically forcing them to say this. It's like, oh, so you're still suspicious, huh? Pointed the gun at them all. So like, obviously, we can see how much of a non-leader Rosa is compared to Natsuhi. Natsuhi only suspected people at the very, very end, where she had a very, very good reason to. Masterful Gambit. I'm gonna blow my nose again. Deeply unwatchable stream because of the sudden allergy. Godo-san and Kumasawa-chan each rubbed their hands together, affirming each other with 4 smiles on their faces. Really? Come on now. It was a truly unpleasant rondo. So, it was a person who might be allowed to enter Jessica-chan's room while she was grieving. A person who might have been given access to her defenses back. And who had the master key that only points to one suspect. It was impossible for anyone else except Kanun-kun.
Please wait, Kanun-kun definitely wouldn't do something like that.
Oh, then is there someone else? Look at this! Dude! I hate her! Is Koda-san or Kumasawa-san suspicious after all? What do you think is more suspicious, Shannon-chan? Come on!
I could never.
This is not how you interrogate people. This is horrible. Horrible.
It wasn't me, Shannon-san. Yes, it was not me.
Of course it wasn't me either. The ones who had close relationships with my lady were Kanon-san, and after him, you, right?
Yeah, isn't that right? Jessica-chan might also let Shannon-chan into her room. You were supposedly with father, but in reality, could you be the culprit? What's wrong with her? What's her damage? This is what I'm talking about. I'm so right. I'm so right. It's something I hope they don't say to your face because it's very well told right now. It's just, she's letting the power get to her. Natsuhi always felt like she was a leader in a way. It's not like she felt like she never wanted to be a leader in reality. She just wanted to be seen. She always had the conviction and the passion and the care in her heart to always act like that. It's that she was never given a chance. But Rosa, on the other hand, being the underling, being the washed up sibling, being the one that nobody looks at and nobody cares about, now that she finally has a modicum of power, it's getting deeply, deeply into her head. If Beatrice grants this woman a duel, I'm uninstalling.
「 Beatrice grants this woman a duel, I'm uninstalling.
「 Beatrice grants this woman a duel, I'm uninstalling. 」
「 Beatrice grants this woman a duel, I'm uninstalling. 」 「 Beatrice grants this woman a duel, I'm uninstalling. 」
If Beatrice grants this woman a duel, There's no way Beatrice would. It's just... It's very well told. I really like this a lot. She just cares so much about having respect. Natsuki did not care about having respect. Respect was just something that she expects because it's the kind thing to do, right? Like, you're talking to the wife of the head of the house, have some dignity. It's not about respect, it's about dignity to her. But she was never looking after respect. She just wanted to be seen. Rosa wants respect with an iron hand. She wants, ooh, this is good. This is really good. I like this a lot. What a nice woman. I hope she also treats her daughter with respect and understanding.
Shannon couldn't be the culprit. Didn't you just say she was doing something important work with grandfather?
Yes, I know. Neither Shannon-chan nor Genji-san is the culprit. Father confirmed that they were together the whole time. Well then, what do you think, everyone? After being told that no one can respond, even if someone did manage to argue back, they then have to offer the name of a different suspect. And no matter who that suspect was, it would have to be someone right here. No one could do something like that. Aunt Rosa glanced at everyone in turn, fingering the gun like it was a toy. Look at her! I know for a fact that Natsuki kept her finger off the trigger at all times and kept the gun pointed downwards at all times, except with Eva, but that was Eva, so it's very understandable. She seems so different from the kind Aunt Rosa I knew. No, it's probably because I'm not fully aware of the danger we're in. This is truly the anti-Mother's Horror episode. I'm so distraught. Save us, man. Yes, I was about to say that. Took the words out of my mouth. No, it's probably because I'm not fully aware of danger we're in. Maybe Natsuki's Rosa. Rent free, she's in my mind. Maybe Aunt Rosa's attitude would seem natural if I could truly sense the peril surrounding us. It looks like no one has an opinion. Then I'll give you mine. Of course I can't deny the possibility that Kanun-kun's a victim without a corpse. But until we find that corpse, I certainly can't rule Kanun-kun out of the suspect. There's a chance he'll suddenly appear again, claiming to have been attacked by the culprit and confined somewhere. But take care. Most likely, no. There's no doubt about it. Kanun-kun killed Jessica-chan. No way.
I can't believe it. Kanun did that to a lady. That's too much.
I feel the same as Shannon. I'm opposed to labeling Kanun-kun as the culprit. Then is the culprit Goda-san or Kumasawa-san? Tell me who's more suspicious.
It wasn't us.
If it wasn't Kanun-kun, then who could have locked this door? I like this sprite a lot because it just goes more to what I'm talking about. Natsuki never smiled in a sprite where she had the gun. If she was smiling, it was a sprite without the gun. Rosa, it feels so powerful with her gun. Never mind, I was angry at first about Rosa also taking the gun because that's Natsuki's thing, but now I'm very happy because it shows how different they are. I like it a lot. That's like a very cool way of saying it is that Natsuki treated the gun as a shield, as a defense item. Rosa is treating the gun as a weapon, as something to attack with. Red Witch, where are the new Reds? I'm missing reading something after the streams will update. Sorry, my cat was about to throw something. Alright, back. It wasn't Kanun-kun, then who could have locked this door? How about it, Shannon-chan? George-kun? Huh? Okay, now. They're making it a bit too obvious. Aunt Rosa closed in on Shannon-chan and George Aniki laughing unpleasantly, brother. Of course they couldn't say anything back. They wanted to believe in Kanan-kun, but if they did, they have to suspect the other servants. The simplest culprit was the mystery guest Beatrice, but she was nothing more than a guest and didn't have a master key. So if Beatrice is the culprit despite lacking a master key, then do we have to accept the argument that she really is a witch who locked the door with the power of magic? That's a thing though. No, wait. I really wish I had that document with the red. I'm joking, but wait. The only master keys are the ones of it. Okay, this could go two ways. I don't know why I didn't think about it before. This could go two ways. One, the easy way, that Asmodeus and Satan took Kanon's key and used it. But I believe that Butler is going to say that. And Beatrice is going to say the culprit did not use Kanon's key in red. And then that's when we... No, wait. If she said that, she would be saying that Kanon is the culprit. Which, wait, no, never mind. That is what she wants to say, because she wants to say that magic is real. Right, never mind. So yeah, she's going to say the culprit did not use Kanon's key. So that makes you go, oh my gosh, then what the heck, right? Because only the servants have the key, but none of the servants have the key, so it's magic. But, I forgot what I said earlier. That I believe that Asmodeus and Satan are servants. They are part of the orphanage, right? So they too have a master key. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. That's a dirty argument. Dirty, so dirty. What are you worried about? Make it my fault. You can just make it the fault of the 19th person, the mystery guest, right? If you do, you won't have to watch this ugly battle of humans blaming each other, right? So then what? The culprit is the 19th person, the guest Beatrice? She's a witch, so she could have locked the door without a key using magic. Or are you telling me to accept that? Damn it. In the last game, I learned all your weak points. So what will you do? You said you definitely wouldn't accept me, right? Then you can use Kanon as the perfect sacrifice he is. Kanon killed Jessica. If you support Rosa's theory, everything is settled here, right? Kanon is already dead. There should be no need to show concern for the dead, and you won't have to suspect anyone in this room. Damn it! I won't accept you! But Kanon could be the culprit is impossible. Come on, Butler, lock in. I already have everything ready for you. I have all the defenses ready. Normal Umineko screen right here. Butler crying master rage baiting. Minima.
I don't want to suspect anyone. However, at times there's no smoke without a fire. Turns out to be true. Anyway, you can never be too cautious.
Dr. Nanjo, what do you mean by that?
Oh, please do not misunderstand. I do not wish to label Kanun-san as the culprit. However, until we understand the situation, there is a possibility that he is the culprit. And I believe thinking that way is safer.
Yes, that's right. You cannot be too cautious.
The general consensus certainly didn't seem to find fault with Danjo for what he said. True, no one actually thought Kanon was the culprit, but unless they suspected him, they had to suspect one of the servants here. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to suspect. We didn't want to be suspected. That's correct. We cannot be too vigilant. I take it no one objects to that, right? Understand? There's a very high likelihood that these murders are connected to Father's Legend of the Gold. That means the crime must have been plotted by someone who wants to keep a vast amount of gold, worth several 10 billion yen, all for themselves. With that kind of money, you could play around for the rest of your life in any country. And with a motivation like that, they might even intend to kill all of us. Because she didn't have a master key, the 19th person to guess the Beatrice is removed from suspicion for the murder of Jessica Chan alone. But we cannot conclude that she's unrelated to the crime. After all, it's a vast amount of gold we're talking about. We can't deny the possibility that there are multiple culprits. Right now, one of the people here among us might have been brought by the culprit. As Aunt Rosa yelled, she looked all around, her gun still raised. Don't believe anyone. Suspect the person next to you. That's what she was saying. Say that again? But no one wanted to suspect. They didn't want to suspect anyone here. That weakness in their hearts demanded an answer from those not present. There are only two ways you can be sure someone isn't a suspect. If it is yourself, or if they're already no more than a corpse. The same goes for Kanun-kun. Until we catch sight of this corpse, he is the most likely suspect in Jessica Chan's murder. So take care. Even if he's alive, even if he smooths things over with some explanation, you definitely mustn't trust him. Got it? No one gave an answer for their own initiative. However, those who met Aunt Rosa's eyes had to nod their heads. Humans are beings who live by molding themselves to fit society. In other words, from the time they're born, trusting each other is genetically imprinted on them. It's unpleasant to go against that. They never want to suspect anyone. But if they're forced to suspect someone, they'll find it safest to choose someone who isn't present at that moment. For the purpose of safety and nothing more, they half-heartedly chose Kanon to be the sacrifice. That's ridiculous. I definitely don't want to believe that Kanunko is the culprit. I heard it from George Aniki just now, but not only were those two close in age, they also had some kind of adolescent relationship Aunt Rosa had mentioned. It may be a little late now, but yes, they really did have that kind of air around them. After seeing her parents as tragic corpses, Jessica, bearing deep wounds in her heart, would only have trusted Kanon-kun. It was very easy to imagine, and that's why I don't like it. Kanon-kun was the only one she trusted, so she wouldn't have let anyone but Kanon-kun in. So Kanon-kun was the only one who would have killed Jessica? I just can't accept that kind of arguments. Understand? Even if Kanon-kun appears, don't let your guards down. As long as we cannot prove Kanon-kun's innocence, we must assume that Kanon-kun is the culprit who killed Jessica-chan. That was Aunt Rosa's claim. By using the vague word assume, she managed to convince everyone in the end. Everyone nodded weakly. And with the excuse that they were just assuming for the time being, they concluded that Kanon was the culprit who had killed Jessica. This song is really nice. I don't listen to soundtracks until I finish the whole thing. So I'm really excited to listen to the whole soundtrack once I finish the game in 10 years. I mean, in December. I wonder what the dead Jessica and Kanon would think if they could hear this exchange. Jessica was crying. She was crying into the chest of the person who had put his life on the line to fight for her, Kanon. It was frustrating. So frustrating that it felt like her chest would explode. She grieved and resented how far the dignity of the dead had been trampled. How can those guys treat Kanon like the culprit? Because there's no corpse. How can they treat you like the culprit just because there's no corpse? You risked your life to fight for me, right? Then that witch erased the corpse for fun. For them to call you the culprit after that, it's horrible. It's too horrible. It's okay. I wasn't able to protect you in the end, but I was able to be of use to you in our final minutes. Why doesn't anyone understand that? Stop it, Aunt Rosa! Don't call Kanon-kun the culprit with that messed up logic! She's just saying I'm the culprit. She's just saying I'm suspicious. No. She's saying... Oh. My mouse? Where's my mouse? Okay. She's just saying I'm the culprit. No, she's saying to be careful. She is saying it! Those people are saying you're the culprit so they can stop thinking! They aren't thinking about who the culprit who killed me is anyone! They aren't thinking about who the culprit who killed me is anymore! They aren't thinking of the possibility that you aren't the culprit. And after this, every time something happens, they'll use the excuse that Kanun-kun did it since we don't know where he is. I can't stand that. It's okay. At least you know the truth. If only I know the truth, that's pointless. I know it after dying. Truth belongs to living humans. If the truth doesn't remain, the dead won't be rewarded. They won't know what Kanun-kun risked his life for. Truly a splendid sight. You hardly ever find a sweeter honey than the laments of the dead. Lament, lament. No matter how much you lament, the voices of the dead never reach the living. Damn it! Damn it! It doesn't matter who! Hear my voice! Kanun-kun isn't the culprit! Kanun-kun's corpse was just erased! Why? Why don't you understand that? Milady, I can't stand this. It's too sad. I hate it. This way is like Kanun-kun died for nothing, right? The honor of the dead means nothing unless it's acknowledged by the living. It doesn't matter who. Notice it. Notice it, please. Kanun-kun isn't the culprit. Don't go. Don't go, everyone. Please, don't let it end like this. Don't go. Don't go. Rosa announced that this room would be sealed until the police came. The rest didn't want to suspect each other, so they happily accepted that. For now, they accepted that Kanun was the culprit. Without even imagining how much disgrace that would give to the dead, they accepted it. Milady, you've done enough. Thank you. Don't go! Don't go, everyone! I'm begging you! Come back! Don't leave us behind like this! Don't keep treating Kanun-kun as the culprit! It won't reach! The laments of the dead never reach! You make me laugh, yes! The face of yours makes me laugh! Did you think your voice would reach them? It won't reach, will it, Jessica? It's so useless. Yeah! Yes! My god! Huh? Butler-kun, did you say something? Yeah, it's useless. It's all useless. Just as everyone was about to leave the room, Butler stood alone with his back to them, still looking down at Jessica's corpse. What do you mean it's all useless? Don't you have some objection? I agree that we've got to stay on our guards. But sorry, I'm not buying all this about Kanun-kun being the culprit. Aww. So you're speaking up at a time like this? If Kanun wasn't the culprit, and it wasn't my doing, how do you explain this close room that Jessica's room has become? To be honest, I don't even have a clue on that point. Seriously, why do I have to go and say it's all useless? Guess I better take responsibility for my own words. I'm empty-headed with zero weapons to argue with. But I'm not gonna sit around on the sidelines anymore, Beatrice.
Butler-sama.
Is there some proof that Kanun-kun isn't the culprit? The expression that roasted those two faces was definitely one of anticipation. They didn't want to believe that Kanun was the culprit. They really believed in Kanun. So they were expectant because they wanted me to strengthen their belief in him even more. Then, Butler-kun, which of the other servants do you suspect? Goda-sama? Goda-san? Or is it Kumasawa-san? Quit it on Rosa. I know the person called Kumasawa-chan well. She'll sometimes slack off on the job, but she's always make things fun for everyone. Even if her eyes were dazzled by money, she isn't the kind of person who killed for it.
Butler-sama,
And I just met Goda-san yesterday. Honestly, I still don't really understand him. But there is something I do understand.
I
never seen anyone who cooks as happily as he does. I never seen someone who cares so much to be respected and seen by the family turn around and start killing them, you know? He's the same. The same as Kumasawa-bachan. Goda-san likes to make people happy. As if a person like that could kill those who praise his own food as delicious, even if money was piled up in front of him. Then who do you think killed Jessica-chan and Butler-kun? Who do you think shut Jessica up in a room that could only be locked up by a master key? Wait, before I argue about that, there's something I want to make clear. I don't want to talk about if so and so, if not the culprit, then so and so must be the culprit. I just want to talk about how it's completely impossible for Kanun-kun to be guilty. You say you can prove that Kanun-kun is the culprit? How? It's actually simple. And it's something I almost overlooked. Nato? Repeat it! If you can say it, try saying it. Kanun-kun had a master key on him. Aww. Kanun-kun doesn't have a master key on him. How could you possibly know that? A short while ago, I heard from Goda-san about what happened. About how Jessica went to raid the VIP room, right after she and Kanun-kun went off on their own. Goda-san, you did a good job remembering it. You protected Kanun-kun's honor.
I did?
I heard him say the same thing, but I don't really understand. I also don't, but I'm gonna pretend I do. Could you explain it about... That's right. When Jessica unlocked the VIP room, she borrowed the key from Kanun-kun but didn't give it back! Oh, I didn't remember that! So Kanun-kun doesn't have a master key on him. Is that really so? True, Goda has no recollection of the master key being returned to Kanun. However, she might have returned it when Goda wasn't looking. How does that prove that it definitely didn't happen? If you could just search the pocket of Kanun's corpse, you'd be able to say for sure, but you can't. Search Jessica's corpse. It's impossible to prove. It's all useless. It's actually pretty simple, isn't it? No way. So you're saying that that's why Kanun-kun didn't have a key on him? Yeah. And to prove it, all you have to do is search Jessica. Kanun-kun's master key should be in Jessica's pocket. Dr. Nanjo, would you check for us?
Indeed.
Nanjo dashed up to Jessica and searched in her jacket pocket. Everyone was expectant.
Please.
Please, be there.
Here it is! Is this it?
Yes, that is a master key, without a doubt.
A sketchy statement, there was a small oh of joyful voices. That's Kanun-kun's master key. I'll say it again. Kanun-kun doesn't have a master key on him, so there's no way he could have locked the door. It certainly does appear that way. But Kanun-kun was the last person to meet Jessica-chan. The fact that he's suspicious hasn't changed. Let's give that stuff a rest. Huh? Fundamentally, humans are supposed to be creatures that trust each other. But because we live in a tough world, we learn not to be deeply suspicious. So we suspect everything. We're sad creatures. I won't deny that's our nature. But the one thing I won't let you do is reach conclusions without proof. If someone looks suspicious, that doesn't make them guilty. It makes them innocent. Of course, the world is filled with wolves. I'm not saying you should carelessly believe everyone. But if you're gonna conclude that someone's guilty, you'd better have some perfect evidence. Unless you do, don't go around accusing them based on speculation. That's...
I was the one who brought up there's no smoke without fire, and that was careless of me. I apologize.
Butler-sama.
Wonderful reasoning, Butler-kun. Thank you too, Goda-san. Because of what you remembered, Kanun-kun's been cleared from suspicion.
No, hi.
Clap, clap, clap. It was the crisp sound of the witch applauding. Well done, well done. Not a bad job. Now you have to admit that the only way to commit this crime was through magic.
Crap. Did I fall for the bait piece just like you wanted?
You magnificently proved that Kanon at least couldn't have locked the door to this room. The servants should all have had master keys. With that as proof, Kanon was treated as the culprit, but you've at least managed to clear away that suspicion.
In that case, how did the culprit who killed Jessica lock the door? So that's the problem we have now. I got drawn into exactly the flow you wanted.
I got you, didn't I? Furthermore, you said something outrageous about not doubting any of the other servants. Well then, I can't wait to see how you try to smooth that over.
Shut up. Let's start right away. You'll probably just deny it anyway, but first, let's check the definition of this room as a closed room.
Very well. First, there are absolutely no types of hidden doors. This door is the only way in or out. The only way to lock this door is with Jessica's single key or the master keys, only one of which is held by each servant. It is on the second floor, but it is probably possible to enter or leave through the window. However, the window is locked from the inside.
I can spin the chessboard around already.
Nothing that she said breaks any of the defenses I laid down before. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this one.
Just as a refresher, my thought process is that Asmodeus and Satan are actual servants from the orphanage, other servants that have been hiding in the manor. So thus, since they are servants, her red text about only servants have keys still makes sense. They are servants, they have master keys. Second, I'm going to assume she's going to say that Asmodeus and Satan, let me think here how to word this. Right. When Butler's going to say that Asmodeus and Satan did not turn into the stakes, she's going to say that Asmodeus and Satan are the stakes. But the clever bit is that it's not very specific there, because the stakes are also named the stake of Asmodeus and Satan. So there's two Asmodeans and Satans. The actual servants by that name and the stakes by the same name. So that's how she's gonna get you. And yes, I think that's all I got. I'm prepared. I can spin the chessboard around already. If I start by arguing about the door and the lock, I'll probably be stuck dancing on the palm of your hand. Do as you like. Well then, what should I repeat? Repeat it. Kanun-kun was killed in this room. Very well. Kanun-kun was killed in this room. But I erased his corpse with magic, right? Again, repeat it. Kanun-kun's corpse is in this room. I refuse! I can't repeat it, because I erased the corpse with magic. There's another thing I didn't mention, but to me it was obvious. That the corpse was taken out of the room by Asmodeus and Satan, and the corpse is currently in whatever secret room the servants live in. Yeah, figures he wouldn't say that. There's got to be a secret hidden in there somewhere. Dad, where's the mysterious point I've got to find? Did they lock it without the master key? Or did they somehow kill those two while they were inside the room and it was locked? Or did they kill those two and then somehow escape? I hate to say it, but I have to cover up the moat first. Repeat it. The last time it was locked was due to the master key. I also refuse that. Here again, I gotta remember that. No, Sims, you don't got me. I gotta remember that just because if everything was said in red text, it would be too easy. There's some things that she's gotta refuse just to keep you on your toes. So I do think it's true that the last time the door was locked was because of the master key. She's just not going to say that because it would make the mystery too easy. Because if she says that, that is basically screaming to us that there's more servants than we know of, and we don't want that. We want that to be a big twist. So she won't say it. I'm on to you. This refusing thing is really vague. I don't know if you refuse because it's impossible to repeat, or whether you can repeat it and you're refusing on purpose. Thank you, Butler. That's what I just said. Back when discussing the locks of the chapel, you completely turned the tables on me. When I have an advantage, there's no need to go out of my way to use red when it might be risky. That's all there is. I guess that makes sense. Originally, the point of that red was to counter my strange theories. Naturally, I'll use it in any way that works to my advantage. Now that I've got to worry about you twisting it around, I won't use it so carelessly. Well then, what move will you use next? I imagine a move placing suspicion on Golda or Kumasawa will be easy as yes. Damn it. It feels like you're leading me by the nose and it pisses me off. Stay quiet a bit, I'm thinking. Of course, this door is the same as a chapel. When locked, it does not permit any form of entry or exit. I'll say more. No trick could have the effect of locking the door from the outside without using the key. Damn you for always using the red when I don't ask for it. Time to step back to square one. For now, I just gotta think. I gotta lay out everything I know. First, there are two victims. Jessica and Kanunkun. Kanunkun's corpse isn't here, but Beatrice admitted in red that Kanunkun was killed, so even without a corpse, he's included as a victim. There are a few questionable points, and depending on which I focus on, my line of thought changes a lot. Focus on the fact that I was no, actually, never mind. First, if the culprit committed a murder in this room, how did they lock it? If we assume the culprit someone with the master key, it's extremely simple. But I'd like to avoid that if I can, because I have to suspect Golda-san or Kumasawa-san or maybe even Shannon-chan and Genji-san. Here, I noticed something. Come on. I was contradicting myself. I was strangling my own neck. I want to deny Beatrice no matter what. I want to erase the existence of that brutal, fickle, ridiculous witch. So I have to explain everything with humans, not magic. But that also means suspecting some human. I don't want to suspect anyone. Of course, if there's some clear proof, I'll have to believe that the person in question is the culprit. But until that happens, I don't want to suspect people. Am I just naive? Am I just a kid who doesn't want to have my feelings betrayed when those feelings tell me that the person at least could never commit murder? I want to deny that a witch did it, and I also want to deny that a human did it. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. In the first place, the only victory condition in our game was whether or not you could deny my existence. Even though that alone put you at a disadvantage, you've increased the number of victory conditions all by yourself, making your own victory harder. It's just as she says. Even if I just argue that someone with a master key did it, this closed room can be broken easily. However, the number of keys that can open this door is limited. And since it's clearly known who has them, using that argument means I'll be suspecting someone I know well. In fact, I have just been averting my eyes from the truth. Even while attacking that closed room trick in the chapel, which was exhilarating to destroy, I proposed that someone stole the key from Maria's handbag and returned it. If that theory is right, then the question becomes who could have stolen the key from their handbag. Maria's handbag was probably most unguarded while she slept. In that case, in addition to me, George, Aniki, and Jessica are also suspects. So George, Aniki, or Jessica is the culprit? Or maybe an accomplice? All of our parents have been killed, right? And yet, one of us consented to that and assisted with the crime. We all lamented, mourned, and shed tears together at the chapel, and yet one among us was lying. That theory of yours about taking the key out of the handbag and putting it back cast a pronounced suspicion of the cousins, did it not? And despite that, you acted like you didn't even notice, announcing a theory like that so happily. That doesn't guarantee that one of the family or servants is the culprit. If you snuck up on us while hiding in a cardboard box, for example, that good chance you could have slunk into our room while we were fast asleep and stolen the key, right? Perhaps that will do for that situation. By suspecting the guest of the 19th person, you won't have to suspect the others. In that case, how was Jessica's room locked? If Butler says that someone else could have stolen the key, a master key, and then somehow returned it, Beatrice is going to say that a servant definitely used. No. If she says that, it would be too obvious. But it's a possibility. If Butler fights with that, then a attack that Beatrice could use is saying that a servant definitely killed them. No, that would be saying that her magic isn't real. I don't know, they're both kind of a stalemate here. She can't say that a servant definitely did it, because then she's saying that her magic isn't real. She can't say that a master key was definitely involved, because that makes it too easy. We're in a weird spot. We're definitely in a weird spot. We gotta see. It's no trouble at all for me to open the lock with magic, but of course, I don't have a master key. If you deny my magic, you also have to deny that I'm a suspect, correct? So in other words, that means suspecting one of the 18. Oh yeah, thanks for the help. I managed to sort things out a bit. My goal is to figure out who the 19th person, the human guest Beatrice, committed the crimes. If I do that, I won't have to suspect anyone. If you can do that, foolish man. This wasn't a closed room from the beginning. After all, there are a total of 6 keys that can open it. That wasn't in red. And several people possess such keys. You can suspect any of them, suspect as much as you like, but you went to all of the trouble of denying all of them, making it a closed room by yourself. Understand? This is a closed room born from your mental contradiction. You and no one else sealed that door. So you're trying to say that I've got 2 options. Accept that a witch opened it with magic, or accept that someone I know is the culprit. Are you trying to fork the rook? I just wanted to show you that moves such as this can exist as well. So, what will you do? Should I be a battler? Isn't it actually simple? Don't you just have to make sacrifices of that overly self-confident cook and that hag who wouldn't be a loss if she died? If I suspect Goda-san and Kumasawa-san, everything will be fine? That's useless. I can't think of Goda-san as the culprit. I can't think of Kumasawa-san as the culprit. But I won't accept you, no matter what! In that case, they'll have to enter the room without using magic or a master key. Kill Jessica and Kanun, and even erase Kanun's corpse without using magic. How could it be done? How could it be done so that you can deny me while still not suspecting anyone else? sign. Huh? Bender-kun, what did you say? I give up. I was able to prove that Kanun-kun couldn't have locked this door. But that doesn't mean I've managed to figure out who killed Jessica.
But no, that's more than enough. For Kanunkun's sake. Thank you very much.
No need to thank me. After all, this means you're under suspicion too, Shannon-chan. And sorry, Aunt Rosa. It's not like I wanted to resist you. I don't want to die, and I want to find Dad and the rest true enemy. Sorry for saying something that wasn't cooperative. No, it's okay. I was also a little harsh. Let's make up. As an aunt and nephew, we have to stay on good terms, right? Aunt Rosa shifted the gun to one hand and held out the other. I reached out and for the time being we shook hands. Aunt Rosa's gaze was sharp. In order to deny the witch, she would sacrifice anyone. That's what her eyes told me. And me? I denied the witch, but I wasn't prepared to lose anything. I was probably the one who seemed to be fighting the most, and yet the one who was most separated from reality. Well, darn! That was exciting, that was fun, but I was really excited to go all the way. All my points, all my defenses for nothing. I'm very excited to come back to that. It's just very, very interesting. Because they're both stuck. None of them can say much without making the other one instantly win. So, I'm very curious how they're going to go through with it later when we come back to it. I know, thinking. No more thinking. One more chapter. Well, no, not that chapter, just one more scene. But we will definitely have another stream later today. Hopefully. With Jessica's death, it became certain that the culprit was hiding somewhere nearby, and that they'd come for our lives if they had the chance. According to Genji-san, when tomorrow morning comes, the boat should arrive. The boat had a radio. We'd probably be able to contact the police directly with that. All of us gathered in the parlor and decided to wait quietly until tomorrow. I proposed that we should search throughout the mansion for the clues about the culprit, but Aunt Rosa rejected that, saying that if we managed to corner the culprit or maybe provoke them, it might lead to a third murder. That was probably the right thing to do. If a bunch of amateurs like us investigated, there's no way we'd find anything. It would be wisest to focus on protecting ourselves without doing anything unnecessary and leave it to the police starting tomorrow. We'd been tense at the beginning, but other than Aunt Rosa, most of us had spent all morning watching TV and getting bored, so our sense of danger had faded considerably. When we thought about it, yes, 6 adults certainly had been killed together in the first murder. But that made it seem like some backhanded method like poison had been used. As for the second murder, we figured those two became sacrifices because they'd been unfortunately isolated from the rest of us. From this, it was possible to imagine that the culprit wasn't a large number of adults, and that they wouldn't be capable of killing this large group gathered in the parlor all at once. Right now, in this parlor, there's George, Aniki, and me. Maria, Aunt Rosa, Genji-san, Goda-san, Shannon-san, Kumasawa-san, and then Dr. Nanjo, for a total of 9 people. Let us see. Yep. Oh, there is no corpse, but he is dead. The witch declared it in red, so even without a corpse, his death is incontrovertible. Indeed. Furthermore, Aunt Rosa was even armed with a gun. Surely with this many people staying in this room, they wouldn't be able to touch us easily. The feeling of security, along with the passage of time, allowed us to recover from the shock of that morning bit by bit. By the way, lunchtime had just ended for us. However, had it been a canned food lunch, a far cry from dinner last night that Goda-san had skillfully made for us. Aunt Rosa also suspected that poison may have been used in the first murder. So I probably couldn't deny the possibility that the culprit had snuck into the kitchen during all that confusion in the morning and mixed poison in the ingredients in there. Aunt Rosa gave orders to all of us saying that until the police came we mustn't put anything into our mouths except safe things like canned food. As a cook, Goda-san must have felt very let down. Apparently eager to display his skill anyway, he said he at least wanted to grab some plates and arrange the canned food on them. At first, Aunt Rosa had been reluctant examining each of the plates that were brought, but she hadn't been able to find anything to complain about. And Goda's chef pick canned food lunch combo was born. Goda-san said something about taste being savored not just with the tongue, but with the eyes as well. I see, it's the same canned food we ate for breakfast, but it feels like something completely different.
Adler, look. This is the wolves and sheep's puzzle. Who?
I was sitting lazily on the sofa with no desire to watch TV. Maria came over, pulled a picture book out of her handbag and held it out to me. What's the book? Wolves and Sheep's Puzzle. Let's see. Wolves and Sheep's Puzzle. It was a phrase that Aunt Rosa had said this morning when she's gone to call on Jessica. At that time, I hadn't known what it meant, and right after that was the uproar when Jessica's corpse was found, so I'd forgotten about it completely. The book that Maria held out to me looked like a foreign picture book or something that had been translated. When I opened it, I realized it was a book stuffed with riddles.
So you have a few wolves and a few sheep, okay? This puzzle is how you take them to the other side with using one boat.
Oh! I know this riddle! Well, it's not a riddle, it's a puzzle. I like this puzzle. The one I know is with what's it, bison? Yeah, I think it's with bison and lions. There's a river and one boat. They're on the side with the boat, and the forest they're currently on is on fire. So they all need to get to the other side of the river. But if you put... Okay, so if one of the two land sides has more lions than it has bison, then the lions will kill the bison. But if when you're taking the boat to the other side, if the boat has more lions than bison, then the lions will kill the bison in the boat. So you need to find a way so that in the boat the lions never outnumber the bison, but also that neither of the two land masses, the lions never outnumber the bison. It's very fun. It's a very fun puzzle. There are 3 rage baiters and 2 rage baited. On one side of the... Okay. That's a +2. That's a +2. I got a ping. 1 second. Go back. I've heard of games with rules like that. So there's a version with wolves and sheep. It's a very simple puzzle, passed on from long ago. Let's try posing a question. On the right bank, there are 2 wolves and 2 sheep. There's a boat that as many as 2 animals can ride on, and using it you have to move all 4 of them to the opposite left bank. I believe the version I know has... Yeah, the version I know has more of each. I don't remember how many. That's the puzzle. There are 2 rules. The first is regarding the boat. Even a single wolf or a single sheep can paddle it, but it only can hold 2 animals. The second rule is regarding the wolves. When they when they're greater in number than the sheep in any location, they attack the sheep and it's game over. For example, at the start of the game, let's say the 2 sheep get in the boat and go to the other side. Then one sheep gets off and the other goes back to the first bank. When it does, there are 2 wolves on the first bank and a single sheep returns there. When that happens, the number of wolves is greater, so the sheep is attacked and it's game over. On either bank or even the boat, there must never be more wolves than sheep. And you've got to shuttle them all across under these conditions. I never expected to see this. It is a riddle, right? I just consider it a puzzle. I never thought to see this puzzle here. It's very fun. I'm very happy. I'm smiling. By the way, the right answer is to move both wolves to the opposite. Wow, come on! I'm sorry. Okay, I wanted to see like a full diagram of the puzzle before I tried solving it. I already knew the answer, so I guess it wouldn't be much of a solve, but he's doing it for me anyways. The right answer is to move both wolves to the opposite bank in the first turn. Then one wolf comes back. On the second turn, you move 2 sheep onto the opposite bank, then one wolf comes back. Then on the third turn, you put the last wolf that was on the right bank on the boat and cross to the opposite boat, and congratulations, transport successful. Partway, there may be the same number of wolves and sheep in the boat or on either side, but that isn't the problem. You only lose when the number of wolves is greater. This book uses wolves and sheep as an example, but lots of people probably know of this game using different characters. Me. It looked like Maria wanted to test whether I too could solve the puzzles she knew how to solve. And she kept showing me different pages saying, solve this one, and this one's hard. So what was happening when Aunt Rosa first mentioned this puzzle? That's right. When we decided to go and get Jessica, we talked about how many men should go. And Aunt Rosa mentioned the wolves and sheep puzzle, saying that we should all go together. No, not again. Wait a sec. That could only mean one thing. Aunt Rosa was saying that there was a wolf among us. So was she thinking that it would be safe if the number of wolves and sheep was in balance, but that the wolves would bare their fangs if the situation changed? At the time we found our parents' corpse, Aunt Rosa already suspected that the servants might be wolves. She sniffed out the possibility that while she didn't know whether it was all of them or some of them, there were wolves hiding among them. There's no surprise. The murder scene was very elaborate. It's easy to imagine that there were multiple culprits. And because she reached that conclusion when we went to Jessica's room and learned that Jessica had been killed after being alone with the servant Canon, it isn't hard to imagine why Aunt Rosa suspected the servant so persistently. I just realized the inclusion of the 7 princes being servants is so good, because that explains how Canon died in episode 1. What we saw wasn't Beatrice. What we saw was one of the 7 princes running away, and one of the 7 princes is who killed Canon in the boiler. So I've been thinking about it as a suicide, but nah. It was one of the 7 princes, specifically Satan. So Satan was in the boiler room, killed Canon, and then left through the back door. I didn't think about that before. So I'm now even more convinced that I'm right about the 7 princes being servants hidden in the manor. You servants, Goda-san is going to the kitchen to clean the dishes. Just in case, would you please all go with him?
My apologies, everyone. Let us go as a group.
Shonan, Kumo-sama. We are going.
Yes, coming. Well then, George-san, excuse me for now.
Yes, take care. Aunt Rosa, could I go as well? I'm sorry, but would you remain here, George-kun? There's something I want to talk to you about. Is that so? Sorry, Shannon. Anyway, take care. Don't be alone. Yes. I'm sorry, Dr. Nanjo. I wanted to consult you about something.
Yes.
What could that be?
The servants put the dishes and empty cans in the serving cart and started to head out to the corridor. Behind them, Aunt Rosa was talking to Dr. Nanjo about something in a small voice.
Understood. I will go.
Yes, I'm counting on you. Dr. Nanjo closed the book he had been reading, rose from the sofa, and followed after the servants. Is she using him as a sacrifice? Like, I'm gonna I'm gonna make Nanjo go in a room full of the servants. If he's dead, then we know it's one of the servants. Aunt Rosa stuck her head out into the hallway, and after seeing that they were completely out of sight, she closed the door and spoke. Listen up, everyone. With that, everyone here is in Ushiromiya.
Yes, that's true.
So you're saying that you chased out all of the wolves, Aunt Rosa? With that one sentence, Aunt Rosa's gaze grew sharp. Apparently, she had picked up on the sarcasm. She laughed lightly. Your mind sure does work fast, Butler-kun. I like clever kids. It means there's less to explain.
Oh, Butler smart? Can you solve this? Page 64 is hard.
Maria, go watch TV for a bit. Mama wants to talk with Butler-kun and George. Aunt Rosa, I heard about the puzzle from Butler-kun. I don't think it's wrong to be on our guards, but I also think there's such a thing as being too suspicious. Whether the real culprit is Beatrice or not, there is reason for us to suspect that the servants are in on it. In the first murder, where Nissan and the others were killed, they were treated very brutally, right? Did that look like something that could have been done alone? Maybe the mystery guest Beatrice-sama worked all night and did it all. And what about the master key and the door to Jessica's room? Isn't that proof that one of the servants was involved? Only the master key could have locked the door to Jessica's room. So we can only suppose that one of the servants did it. No. Wait. Spin the chessboard around. That's strange, Aunt Rosa. After killing Jessica, why would the culprit go to all the trouble of locking the door? The fact that it was locked made it inevitable that the owners of the master keys would be suspected. There was no reason for them to go to all the trouble of locking the door. That's right. It's just as Butler-kun says. There was no need for them to go to all the trouble of making themselves look suspicious. Yes, that's an interesting thought. Of course I also thought that. If that's the case, then the person who locked it wanted to cast suspicion on the servants and locked it without the master key. But that's impossible, right? That's right. If there existed some trick that could lock the door without a master key, that would make this a great disguise for casting doubt on the servants. If the culprit's goal was for us to isolate ourselves from the group, they could have attacked us one by one. This trick would also be effective at giving rise to paranoia. But there was no way to lock the door without using the master key. How can you be sure there's no way to lock that door without the master key? Isn't that the devil's proof like Rudolf Nissan was talking about earlier? Maybe it was locked by some method we can't think of. Even if we can't think of a way, we can't deny the possibility of some unknown trick being used. That's true too, I guess. So, is that it? No smoke without fire again? I don't know the practical details of the trick, but I have a general idea. My apologies. Whether we make the assumption that Kanun-kun was the culprit, it can be explained extremely easily, even as to why there was no corpse. Huh? But Kanun-kun didn't have a master key, right? Putting aside the other servants, at least Kanun-kun shouldn't have been able to lock that door. I see. So that's why you told us to search in the closet and everywhere else right after we entered Jessica's room. Aunt Rosa, your mind works faster than I would have guessed from how you normally act. The brain speed of a little sister is always the big sister's -1. Right now, there's one I need to worry about, offending, which is certainly a relief. There's no one I need to worry about offending, which is certainly a relief. George Aniki realized she was referring to Aunt Eva. It seemed a little uncertain about how he should take that sarcasm. I'm sorry. Could you explain it so even I can understand? Kanun-kun's master key was in Jessica-chan's pocket, closed up inside, a closed room. And the door was locked. It should have been impossible to put in her pocket from outside the room, no matter what trick he used. That's not it, Aniki. If it was done the way Androsa is thinking of, this trick could only be used by Kanun-kun. Plus, the door could be locked without using a key, while the master key was still in Jessica's pocket, and it would have been it would also result in his corpse disappearing. How? How could he lock the door without a key? Or to say he used Jessica's key to lock it from the outside, and then somehow found a way to throw the key inside, like through the window or something. It's simple. George-kun, when you return home, you lock the door, right? You twist the knob, click, and you're done, right? Huh? Could it be? No, but Kanun-kun was nowhere to be found. They got me. I'm lost. I'm stupid. It looks like you got it, Aniki. That's what Androsa was searching for the room for. She was searching for Kanun-kun, who had locked the door from the inside and stuck the key in Jessica's pocket. But he wasn't there. But before hiding somewhere, waiting for us to walk right past him. It was the simplest kind of closed room trick. It meant him hiding inside the closed room after the murder was committed. Or the saying that he did what Kinso did in episode 1. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot more people this time. Like in episode 1 with Kinso, it was just Natsuki. No, I'm a bit lost, but sure, fine. Then all you had to do was get out of after those who discovered the body left, and the closed room murder would work perfectly. When we searched the room, we definitely didn't find anything. But for all we know, that room might have had a hidden passage that only the servants know about. We don't know where such a thing might have been hidden. But if we assume there was such a passage, we can conclude that it was impossible for everyone but him. Well, how about that line of reasoning? I thought of that too at the very beginning. It's the kind of reasoning I hate most, so I wanted to destroy it right at the start. 1 second. Water break. I can't even lie to you. Umineko be like the biggest reason I be getting my intake of water lately. Kanun was killed in this room, right? You apparently suspected that Kanun was the culprit, so you made me repeat this to destroy the possibility right off the bat. Yes, I understand. So this is what I thought next. I made a theory where there were actually 3 people in that room. Jessica and Kanun-kun were the victims, and the culprit, the guest Beatrice, was also there with them. You wanted to make it the human me who committed the crime without using magic. I see. A bizarre theory that suits you perfectly. I guess that you killed those 2 and locked the door from the inside, and that you carried Kanun-kun's corpse away using some secret method that normal people wouldn't notice. In other words, you used a secret door to escape. But you told me in red. You said no kind of hidden door existed in that room. Indeed. There can exist no secret passages that you all are not aware of. Was it Knox who said it, or was it Van Dyne? It seemed that in the mystery novels there must never be hidden passages. I simply follow that etiquette. So even without having to thoroughly search the room, a famous detective could conclude that no secret passages exist. Humans playing detective have it so easy. Damn you, talking so big. Thanks. Thanks to that mighty witch being so diplomatic, I get to conclude that the room has no hidden doors without searching the whole thing. Indeed. One second. Nah, I don't got any new thoughts. Seeing all this again without now knowing now all that I know, it's a whole unique kind of. I bet, right? I bet. I'm thinking. I don't think I can discern anything. I'm just trying to see if I can, but I don't think so because I already have all my stuff. I have all the defenses. I assume all the things that she's going to say in defense to my defenses. Let us continue. Indeed, there are no hidden doors in this room. There is no way to get in or out other than the door and the windows. Which means that the theory Aunt Rosa is so confident in is wrong. Also, annoyingly, it's impossible to disprove her theory. If you, the witch, say there are no hidden doors in red, then it's settled. However, no matter how much a human like me tries to argue against her, Aunt Rosa probably won't accept it. Humans can't prove there's no hidden door. It's a devil's proof. Damn. It sure is convenient being a witch. No way. To call Kanun-kun the culprit because of a hidden door we don't even know exists. I can't accept that. If you can't accept it, then find me a different theory that's more convincing. There is no more. There is none. I've been thinking this whole time. There's no other option. George-kun, you and Shannon-chan are close, right? I imagine that's why you find it so hard to accept that all these servants are culprits. Even I don't want to believe that Shannon-chan is in league with the culprit. But whether they're in all in it together or not, there's definitely a culprit or maybe an accomplice among them. The point alone is something you absolutely need to understand. If you guess there were wolves besides Kanun-kun, does that mean that the uproar you caused by accusing Kanun-kun in Jessica's room was to gauge the reactions of the other servants? Yes, that's right. And as a result, I began to suspect them even more. There certainly is a wolf among the servants. Certainly. And just like in the wolves and sheep puzzle, while they may be docile most of the time, they'll surely attack if they get the chance. Jessica-chan was a lone wolf on the boat. In Maria's version of the puzzle, they may not attack when there's an equal number of wolves and sheep, but our puzzle is different. Depending on the situation and the number of people, they'll attack even if there is a balance. Just like when Jessica-chan was killed. And there's something that makes me mad. If that's true, then when you made Shannon go to the kitchen, you put her in a dangerous situation, didn't you? We should go to the kitchen right now, too. No matter who may or may not be a wolf. If staying together means we remain in balance, I think we should keep it that way. Shannon-chan went to see father along with Genji-san. At that time, she was supposedly isolated, but she wasn't killed. Was it because Genji-san was in the wolf sea either? Wrong! It's because she were Because they were both wolves. Shannon isn't the kind of person who would take part in a crime. I can't let a comment like that slide, not even from you, Androsa. I demand that you take back what you just said. I hate saying this in front of Aniki, but the way you are arguing feels just like something Eva would say. It's like you're automatically assuming that you're right unless we can counter your argument. Looks like you can fight against your own blood after all, Androsa.
Even I can think of myself as very praiseworthy right now. But guess what? I am a mother. I'd become even a demon to protect Maria's safety. I really wish I could shut myself away somewhere along with her. But I also plan to act as a mother to you two. Right now, you're practically my children. Even if you aren't mine known, I won't forsake you, no matter what.
Boo, boo, L, you will never be her. You will never be her. Well, thanks for that.
I just want to warn you not to be careless as your mother. Stay where I can see you at all times. I will protect you.
At the same time, you'll be observing us to make sure we aren't wolves. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Can you, Aunt Rosa, prove that you aren't a wolf?
Yes, I can.
That's a quick answer. How?
With this. This is my proof.
Oh. Aunt Rosa lifted her hand and pointed the barrel at me. It was only for an instant. She immediately lowered the gun, laughing impishly. But to me, the time I spent staring down the barrel of that gun felt like an eternity. How does that gun prove that you are the culprit, Aunt Rosa?
Think about it. What if I were the culprit? Would I really give up the once-in-a-lifetime chance I got when the servants left? I could just shoot you, bang, and think of my fitting excuse later. Something like Beatrice appeared outside the window and started shooting at us. I just needed to leave 2 empty cartridges on the ground and say I fired back at her twice.
Well, that's crazily violent way to argue it, but it does make sense.
There's something Krasny-san used to say all the time long ago. Might is right. Maybe that really is true. I'm sorry, you too. I've somewhat lost my composure after all the crimes I've seen this morning. You know how I normally am, so I must seem desperate and a bit short-tempered right now. But please understand. I want to protect you from the malicious culprit. I will become a demon to do that. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry for saying something that's angered you. Butler-kun, George-kun, let's make up.
I really like that a lot too. She's acting with them just like she acts with Maria. She says and does some horrible things, and then it just brushes it off. Brush. That's not even a real word anymore. And brushes it off by saying, "Let's make up." Like, I'm sorry, let's make up. We're besties, me and the bestie, and all that. Just like with Maria, where she's becomes the normal Rosa. She suddenly gets all lovey-dovey with Maria again. An unsatisfied expression rose to George Aniki's face. He probably couldn't forgive the damage done to Shannon's honor. What about me? Masterful brush, Ryokishi. Several bits of circumstantial evidence hinted at the servants' participation. I didn't want to believe that one of them was the culprit, or possibly colluding with the culprit. But in our current situation, that was little more than wishful thinking. Whom should I believe? In the first place, who was the culprit? Are there accomplices? And if so, how many? It seems I've only been suspecting the people we know. I quickly forgot the 19th person, the guest Beatrice who arrived yesterday and boldly claimed to be the Golden Witch. In fact, I still hadn't seen her face. I heard she greatly resembled the witch in the portrait, but since I hadn't seen her directly, no matter how hard I try, it doesn't really feel to me like a 19th person is on this island. So I've been subconsciously hallucinating that the culprit is one of the 18. Damn it. Come on, Beatrice. If you're the bad guy, then act like the bad guy and show yourself laughing in a high-pitched voice and mocking us. Just like a bad guy in one of those dramas who, even when they're exposed as the culprit, aggressively say, "Where's your proof?" Where's your proof? Shut up. No more talking. She came on just to rage bait and then left. But I'm afraid that is all for now. This stream was very weird because of my allergies attacking me for no reason. Hopefully later tonight I am more not sick and we can have a better stream. I'm excited for next stream. I hope they go back to... Next stream is gonna be good no matter what, because either we go back to Jessica and Kanon's murder, and that's gonna be fun, or we get to see another murder, which will be fun. So yes, very excited for next stream later tonight. But yes, that is all for now. Farewell to all. Have a wonderful day to all, and may I see you all later. Bye bye. Oh, Phoenix, if you're still there, got you. I shall send you links again. Nah, bye bye again. Enjoy Silk Song.